The shocking case on Thanksgiving. Chapter 1. A quiet Thanksgiving. Palm Beach, Florida gleamed under a crisp November sky, the ocean breeze carrying a hint of salt and pine. Inside the sprawling Tanner estate, the warmth of the season contrasted starkly with the chilling storm of events soon to unravel. The Tanner family, headed by patriarch Richard Tanner, a shrewd real estate magnate, gathered in the dining room as the golden turkey rested on the mahogany table. Surrounding him were his wife, Evelyn, their two grown children, Madison and Jeremy, and Madison's husband, Todd. Even young Sophie, Madison's 6-year-old daughter, was present, her eyes wide with excitement at the feast. Laughter rang through the room, blending with the crackling of the fireplace. The air was rich with the scent of roasted turkey, sweet potatoes, and cranberry sauce. But this tranquil family scene shattered like fragile glass when the front door burst open with a deafening bang. Chapter 2. Chaos descends. A group of 5 masked strangers stormed into the home, dressed in dark clothing adorned with peculiar symbols. They moved with eerie precision, carrying weapons, knives, bats, and a crowbar. "Nobody move," a deep voice barked. The man at the front, clearly the leader, towered over the others. His mask bore a strange, hand-painted emblem resembling a rising sun. Richard stood protectively in front of his family, his voice steady despite the chaos. "Take what you want, but leave us unharmed." The leader tilted his head as if amused. "You misunderstand, Mr. Tanner. This isn't just a robbery." One by one, the intruders dragged the family members from their chairs, tying their hands and forcing them onto their knees. Evelyn sobbed quietly, clutching Sophie, while Jeremy's defiant glare earned him a sharp slap from one of the intruders. As the cultists began smashing furniture, ripping paintings off walls, and collecting valuables, the leader addressed the terrified family. "We are the Order of Dawn, servants of the divine will. Your wealth is a stain upon the purity of the world, and we are here to cleanse it." Chapter 3. Detective Eleanor Blake. 2 days later, Detective Eleanor Blake stood outside the Tanner estate, surveying the aftermath. The mansion bore signs of violent destruction, shattered windows, splintered furniture, and walls smeared with cryptic symbols. Eleanor, a seasoned investigator with a sharp mind and a reputation for solving high-profile cases, felt a familiar tension in her chest. Cases like this weren't just about the crime, they were about the psychological wreckage left behind. She turned to FBI agent Ethan Hayes, a young agent with a clean-cut appearance and a fiery determination. Ethan had been assigned to the case due to the suspected involvement of the Order of Dawn, a cult the FBI had been tracking for years. 5 masked intruders, religious symbols, and meticulous execution, Eleanor mused aloud, flipping through her notes. They're making a statement. But why the Tanners? Ethan nodded grimly. The Order of Dawn doesn't just pick targets randomly. They've hit affluent families before, claiming to redistribute wealth as part of their divine mission. But they've never been this violent. Inside, the Tanners were recovering from their ordeal. Richard's face was bruised, and Evelyn sat silently, clutching a blanket. Madison, her arm in a sling, recounted the harrowing experience. "They knew everything about us," she whispered. "Our schedules, our security system, even where we kept the safe. It's like they'd been watching us for months." Chapter 4. Clues in the rubble. Eleanor's keen eyes scanned the crime scene. Amid the wreckage, a piece of paper caught her attention. It was a crudely drawn map with an X marked on a location about 30 miles away, deep in the Everglades. "What's this?" she asked Ethan, showing him the map. He frowned. "The Everglades are vast and treacherous. If they've got a hideout there, it won't be easy to find." Eleanor's instincts told her the map was critical. She also noted the strange symbols painted on the walls, spirals, suns, and other cryptic markings. She photographed them, planning to consult an expert in symbology. As they left the estate, Eleanor turned to Ethan. "If the Order of Dawn is escalating, we need to act fast. They won't stop with the Tanners." Chapter 5. Into the Swamp. The Everglades at night were a realm of shadows and whispers. Eleanor and Ethan, armed and accompanied by a small tactical team, followed the map's coordinates. The trail led them to a secluded cabin, barely visible through the thick vegetation. Inside, they found evidence of recent activity, discarded robes bearing the same sun emblem, handwritten notes referencing the cleansing, and a list of potential targets. Eleanor's stomach churned as she recognized another name on the list, the Kingsley family, prominent philanthropists in Miami. "This isn't just a robbery ring," she said. "It's an ideology. They believe they're purging society of its sins." Ethan pointed to a locked chest in the corner. "Let's see what they're hiding." Inside the chest, they found photographs of the Tanners, taken from hidden cameras. There were also detailed plans for the Thanksgiving attack and a manifesto signed by the Shepherd. "The Shepherd," Eleanor repeated. "Their leader. If we find him, we dismantle the whole operation." Chapter 6. A Race Against Time. The team returned to headquarters to analyze the manifesto. It was filled with grandiose declarations about a new dawn and the eradication of greed. But amid the rhetoric, Eleanor found a clue, a reference to a final sermon scheduled for the winter solstice. "That gives us 3 weeks," Ethan said. "We need to find their stronghold before then." Eleanor focused on decoding the symbols, enlisting the help of a renowned cryptographer. The spirals, it turned out, were coordinates, leading to an abandoned church on the outskirts of Orlando. Chapter 7. The Final Confrontation. The abandoned church loomed like a spectre against the night sky. Inside, the Order of Dawn was holding a gathering, their leader, the Shepherd, delivering a fiery sermon. Eleanor and Ethan, disguised as cult members, infiltrated the group. The Shepherd's charisma was undeniable, his voice resonating with both fervor and menace. "Our mission is divine," he declared. "We strike against corruption, not for ourselves, but for the purity of the world." Eleanor signaled the tactical team as the Shepherd called for a new mission targeting the Kingsleys. "Not this time," she muttered under her breath. The raid was swift and decisive. The cultists fought back, but the tactical team's training prevailed. Eleanor confronted the Shepherd, who attempted to flee but was cornered in the church's crypt. "You think you can stop the dawn?" he sneered as he was cuffed. "I'll settle for stopping you," Eleanor replied coldly. Chapter 8. Healing and Closure. With the Shepherd in custody and the Order of Dawn dismantled, the Tanners began to rebuild their lives. The investigation revealed that a disgruntled former employee had leaked their information to the cult, seeking revenge. Eleanor and Ethan shared a quiet moment after the case closed. "Think we've seen the last of them?" Ethan asked. Eleanor shook her head. "Ideologies like theirs don't disappear overnight. But we've sent a message. They're not untouchable." As Thanksgiving approached again the following year, the Tanners invited Eleanor and Ethan to join them for dinner. It was a simple gesture, but one that reminded them all of the resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of unspeakable darkness.